What is up, everybody? Thanks for watching my videos. If you enjoy, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get updates when I post more amazing content just like this video. This video is going to be all about Muscatine, Iowa.
Muscatine is about a 40-minute drive west of the Quad Cities and a 3-hour drive west of Chicago. Muscatine is yet again another rural Iowa town along the Mississippi River. This one is slightly different than some of the other videos that I've made of towns along the river in Iowa that are further south, such as Burlington, Fort Madison, and Keokuk. As we go on in the video, I'll explain why that is. Well, let's get to it, shall we? I start the video on the far south side of Muscatine. This part of town is full of factories that line the river and has other warehouses that are further away from the river. It might not be a pretty sight or have pretty neighborhoods. In fact, I remember it smelling pretty bad when I drove through certain parts of town. But what makes Muscatine different from the previous Iowa river towns that I have filmed, such as Burlington, Keokuk, and Fort Madison, is that this town still has plenty of jobs left. And since Muscatine has been able to keep their jobs around, the town has avoided seeing a decline in population like the other towns that I previously mentioned. You know, it's really not rocket science. You can begin to see the smoke from a factory in the distance, which we will get closer and closer to. The factory that we're about to approach is the Grain Processing Corporation, or GPC for short. I was expecting that to be a different type of factory, as that's not the type of factory that you think of when it comes to an awful smell. The factory turns corn into products such as ethanol and corn syrup. Other industrial employers nearby include the Kent Grain Corporation, Muscatine Power and Water, and there's a steel plant a few miles north of town, and at least the steel plant is located away from where people live. I mentioned earlier that Muscatine has not seen a population decline. Many towns like Muscatine have, because they've seen their manufacturing jobs go away. Either maintaining or seeing a growth in population for these rural small towns is crucial, as people provide tax dollars for these towns to function and provide city services such as school funding, police, and fire. Muscatine is home to 23,000 people, and the population count has basically stayed the same since the 1970 U.S. Census. The median household income is $52,000 per year. That number is lower than the national average, but it's a higher income rate than other similar rural river towns. The poverty rate is 16%, which is higher than the national average, but is lower than other similar rural river towns. Niche.com ranks Muscatine Public Schools as a B-, which is better than average. However, with all of that said, the violent crime rate in Muscatine is 800 for every 100,000 residents, which is nearly 3 times the national average. You've got to stop assaulting and robbing people, Muscatine residents. Come on now. Muscatine is not an exception to the opioid crisis that has targeted rural Midwestern towns. In 2018, Muscatine County saw a record number of methamphetamine seizures. The numbers over the last decade can be a misleading stat. It used to be that drug usage was tracked by the number of meth labs reported. Meth labs aren't necessarily a thing anymore, as crystal meth is now being imported from Mexico and being distributed through thousands of cities and towns throughout the U.S., making it harder to track. This upcoming stretch of blocks looks like it could use some TLC. If you didn't look at the town stats before driving down this stretch, you would think that Muscatine would be a town that has lost a decent percentage of its population. However, up ahead, along the riverfront in downtown, things look better maintained. You can see a few abandoned buildings that could use some renovation, but you can also see that the town has worked on the streetscape to make it more attractive. There also appears to be a newer and nicer looking residential building. For the most part, I would say that downtown Muscatine appears to be in good shape as there aren't too many vacant storefronts. The building at the end of this street is the Muscatine County Jail, and behind it you can see the Muscatine County Courthouse. On the right is a cool-looking older school building. It houses Central Middle School and Jefferson Elementary School. This appears to be a really nice looking high school. I mentioned it earlier and I'll mention it again as Niche.com ranks Muscatine Public Schools as a B-. That's better than a lot of other rural nearby towns. The athletic teams go by the Muskies. Here is another employer in town called HON. It's a furniture company that is headquartered here. More proof that employment-wise, Muscatine is in better shape than other nearby small rural towns that have seen a lot of their jobs disappear. The only way for these small towns to really thrive is if they can attract new employers or if they can keep the ones that they originally have supported. This is the Muscatine Mall, and who knows how much longer the mall will be able to stay open. Malls in smaller cities everywhere are dying away as online shopping becomes more popular and your traditional retail stores continue to experience bankruptcies. Well, that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as doing all of those things helps these videos out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, make sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video of an area near you. On my channel, I have quite a few playlists that organize my videos by different categories. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy my Iowa playlist, Mississippi River playlist, or my USA Small Cities playlist. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.